Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive right in?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Awesome. So today we're tackling a topic that's close to, well, everyone, I think, embracing change. And we're doing a deep dive into this set of just five, tips that promise to make navigating life's ups and downs, those inevitable changes, a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'm curious about these 5 tips because change can be tough.
Me too.
Yeah.
And the first one is about as basic as it gets, but also like deceptively deep. Ready for this? Tip number one. Accepting change as inevitable. Like, duh, right? Things change. But it's way more profound when you actually bake that into how you think, or at least try to.
It's so true. I think we underestimate the power of that acceptance. When we resist change, like fight tooth and nail against what's going to happen anyway, it's like we create extra suffering for ourselves.
Totally. It's like, okay, bad analogy time.
Yeah.
But have you ever tried to hold a fistful of sand? The harder you squeeze, the more it just slips out, right?
Exactly. And that's what resisting change is like. But acceptance, that's like loosening your grip and realizing, okay, things are shifting, and maybe there's a different way to hold on, or even maybe I need to let go completely.
Ooh, that's good. Different way to hold on. Letting go. And that makes me think about the next two tips, which honestly, they're so connected. Tip two is all about finding the positive in change, and tip three is about staying flexible. Like two sides of the same coin, right?
For sure. And they play off each other, don't they? Because when we're flexible, we're more open to seeing those positive aspects, those opportunities that change can bring.
So true. Okay, so question for you. When faced with a big old change, are you a glass half full or glass half empty kind of person?
Hmm, that's a tough one. I think it depends on the change, right? But honestly, I try to find the good. Sometimes it's hiding under a rock, but it's usually there. What about you?
Same here. Though, I'll admit, sometimes that glass half empty mentality creeps in. It's human. But that's where I think tip three comes in, that flexibility. It's like, okay, maybe this change threw a wrench in my plans, but can I adapt, pivot? What new possibilities are now on the table?
Exactly. Clinging rigidly to the old way, especially when things are already shifting, can make it even harder.
100%. Okay, tip number four is, well, it's a bit deeper, touches on the emotional side of change. Because let's face it, change can bring up all sorts of feelings,
Yeah.
right? And those feelings are totally valid. Tip four is all about managing those emotions.
So important. We can't just ignore how change makes us feel. Bottling up those emotions, it's like ignoring a simmering pot on the stove. Eventually, it's going to boil over, you
Yeah,
know?
and nobody wants that.
Exactly. And it's not always pretty, so we've got to find healthy ways to deal with those emotions. Journaling can be great for some people. Talking to a therapist or counselor can be really helpful. Mindfulness, meditation, even just venting to a trusted friend.
I love that. Giving ourselves permission to feel those feelings, process them, it's huge.
Hmm.
Okay, ready for the last tip? Tip number five. It's all about taking small steps. Because, yeah, the idea of like completely overhauling our lives overnight, that's daunting.
It is. It's overwhelming. And when we're overwhelmed, it's easy to get stuck. So instead of trying to change everything at once, we can focus on those small, manageable steps.
Makes sense. It's like that saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Ah, perfect analogy.
Yeah.
It's less about making one giant leap and more about those consistent, smaller steps that eventually lead to big change.
This has been so insightful. I think what strikes me is how, on the surface, these tips seem so simple. But when you really break them down, their power lies in that simplicity.
Mm.
They remind us that we have the inner resources to navigate change,
Mhm.
even when it feels scary or overwhelming.
Absolutely. And when we shift our perspective, change, even if it's difficult in the moment, it can become an incredible opportunity. An opportunity for growth, for self-discovery, for creating a life that feels more aligned with who we truly are. The key is approaching it with the right mindset and having the tools to navigate it effectively. And these 5 tips, they're a great place to start.
Couldn't agree more. Well said.